What's up, everybody? Welcome to the video. We're gonna start this video out by going to get the oil changed in the Jeep. My oil light just came on when I started it when I left work, so luckily there's a place on the way home where I can get oil changed. Yeah, I know, I build cars, do all this custom work, you know, this and that, but I go to some place to get my oil changed. Well, this thing has a skid plate underneath of it that weighs like 50 pounds, and I don't feel like taking it off and doing all this work underneath this thing because it's actually a pain in the butt. So I go to this place up here or wherever, get it done. All right, so what we're going to do today is we are going to mount the intake manifold permanently. So we're going to go ahead and drop the lifters in. I don't have the push rods yet. They're on back order for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, they're 100 thou longer. I think you would have that in stock, but it's all good. Should be here in a couple days, hopefully. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the lifters in. We can put the push rods in afterwards. Not a big deal. They just slide right in. And mount the intake manifold. In the meantime, we're also waiting on the FedEx driver to get here with my radiator. And then we can go ahead and install that too. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the lifters in. I didn't preload the lifters. Yes, they're sitting in the oil, but they're not preloaded. They're just, set it in here. They're just sitting in the oil just to kind of get lubed. So as I take them out, I slide them in. They're already got oil on them and all that kind of stuff. So no preloading them because that's bad. So all we do, pull one out and drop them in. That way the oil's in here too, kind of keep it all lubed up, keep it nice and clean. They're way down in there. And then we gotta get the other ones. Dang, mosquitoes. Well, didn't hear them, but hey, my radiator just showed up. Wasn't even paying no attention, sitting back there just working away. And, oh, there's my radiator. Sweet. Alright, so I went ahead and did a bead of RTV across the front and the back versus putting little RTV down, then the gasket, then a little bit of RTV. I always hated those little gaskets that go right there. So we just did RTV, knocked it out like that. Next, we're going to go ahead, do the gaskets. We're going to throw a little bit of copper spray on them again. Well, I'm not saying again because it's the first time we've done that on these, but you know, copper spray on parts. Just doing a light coat like before, just to help make sure it sticks really good. Nothing like over the top. I don't want the whole thing 100% just copper. Alright, now let's put the intake manifold on. I always hate this part. Alright, I think they lined up. Alright, let's get all these tightened down. Then I got to find the torque specs because I don't remember. They're on my phone actually. I just got to pull the website up on my phone. says what the specs are. Yeah, as I'm sitting here looking at this, there's like no way I'm going to get a torque wrench in on, you know, half of these. These are so tight. So basically, it says 30 pounds. I'm just going to wing it. Torque arm. And use a short wrench, that way I can't put so much pressure. Alright, next thing before we go ahead and get on the radiator is I want to mount this down permanently too. So we need to put a gasket and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna probably use this kind because of the opening in the middle versus the port one. And same thing, I want to use some copper spray on this because there's nothing else getting sealed on this. It's just getting pressured down. So prefer to put a little bit of sealant on this just to help make sure it is sealed good. Put that on. Drop the EFI. Alright, now we can tighten these bolts down. Carb will be on. And then we can go ahead and start wiring this up and plugging all the fittings and all that kind of stuff, getting that done. Alright, that's all done. Now let's tackle opening this box for the radiator. Alright. That's the box a little smushed, let's hope the radiator's not messed up. Alright, now, yes. This is a stock radiator out of a, what the hell was it? 99, I think, Camaro. So, it's good enough for now. Remember, budget. So, we're going to rock with this one for right now until I can get one basically custom made. But this fits perfectly in between the frame rails, and I'll be able to alright, back to this. So now I need to figure out how to mount this. I mean, it's gonna go about right there, give me enough room for the get the cap on and off. So now it's just figuring out how to mount this thing. Alright, so here is exactly kids, exactly where the radiator is gonna go. It's kind of zip tied up, held up by the jack. It gives me enough room to get the radiator cap on and off, level with the car. If I shut the hood is
about that far away from the top of the radiator cap. And then there is plenty of room in there for fans and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's really hard videoing when you have a lot of kids. Yeah, I have a few. Alright, so back to this. I just kind of threw this in, my alternator. It's the old one that came with a whole bunch of crap when I got some parts for a motor and this and that. This is just basically a mock-up of how it's all going to fit in there, but I'll get a new one later, but that's how it's going to be. Then I got to order my a crank pulley for the bottom so we can run the belt up to there, and that's it for that. So now let's get back to the thing at hand. Got to figure out how to mount this thing. I might come off the frame and then go down and then go over and just basically build, I don't know, maybe I've got metal I think that's this thin, is maybe build something that'll go down and under and then form a, you know, the channel that'll fit in this channel, then the radiator just sit right in there. Put rubber around it and all that kind of stuff to isolate it, and then basically off the front here there's going to be brackets that come out and lock onto the top of this too. So that's probably what I'll do. Alright, so I went ahead, off the camera, off video, all that stuff, got the bottom bracket made, so it's on there. It was just a long process, didn't feel like videoing it, because then this video would be like 2 hours long, because that took a bit. So now I've got to build brackets that go from here to the radiator to keep the top in tight, and then I'm also going to trim this down because it's touching the plastic, so I'm going to trim this back just a hair to kind of give it room. Alright, let's go ahead and get these two pieces cut out of the way first. Alright, there's the one side done. Gives me plenty of room in there. Alright, so I figured out mounting bracket. It's an L bracket, piece of rubber in between the metal and the radiator to give it some movement. There's also rubber on the bottom. Then this piece is going to be riveted to the header panel right here. And then it'll keep it nice and sturdy on there and still allow a little bit of shake from the rubber right there. So let's go ahead and drill them holes and then hot rivet that thing in and it'll be good to go. Let's hope I got the right size drill bit also. No, I did not. Alright, let's go get a new drill bit. Alright, there's one end just to hold it. Now let's get the other hole drilled and then we'll get both of them riveted in so it ain't gonna go nowhere. Still gives it a little bit of bounce because of the rubber right there, but that is not going anywhere. And of course, my battery's about to die. Again, I need to be better with keeping this battery charged or get a second one. Alright, well that's the end of this video. Catch you in the next one.